So this guy lonely on store shelves. This is the Adventure Force Ranger. And for $2.50, I had to check this thing out and see what it was all about. This uses your circular rival style rounds, and it's also like a rotating barrel. Very crazy thing. Let's get a closer look at the Adventure Force Ranger. It comes in a very unassuming package. It is a blaster on a card with 3 rounds of rival style ammo. I don't know exactly what the rounds for the Adventure Force stuff is called, so we'll just call them rival style rounds. If this looks familiar like a Nerf Triad, you wouldn't be too wrong, but there are some very key, vast differences between the Ranger and the Triad that need to be discussed, other than just the ammo type. The first thing that we need to talk about is that it isn't a smart AR system, not in the least bit. The barrel rotates every time you prime it. So the way that this works, if I'm looking at this correctly, is that the air flows up through the handle and out through the bottom barrel. When you have one of the rival style rounds in there, it should fire out without a problem. So let's try that, shall we? So let's put one of our rival style rounds in the barrel. I'm going to try to seat it as far back as possible. I'm thinking that's going to give us the best air seal. And I'm already seeing kind of an interesting thing that we can do. Rival-like round is right here. I can probably fit a couple more in there. I wonder. We'll try that a little bit later. Well, let's pull down on this thing. And yep, it's in place. And we're just going to fire one off here and see how well this works. Oh, that feels nice. Okay, I think maybe it's a little too late to mention, but we're also going to get into some of the things that I like and some of the things that I possibly would have changed about this blaster a little bit later. So let's just keep going with this thing, because one thing that I already like is just how easy this is to use. It's not a lot of extra work required. I just need to make sure that there are rival style rounds in these 3 barrels, and the blaster takes care of the rest. I like that. But like I mentioned, I could probably put more rival style rounds in here. So let's just do that. I've got 2 more in my pocket, so that kind of ends what they give you in the box. So yeah, I could totally do 3. Whether or not that would work, I don't know. But okay, getting ahead of myself. Let's get this in place. I've got 2 in the bottom barrel here, so this could be really awesome if this works. Okay, here we go. That works. Okay. Ranger is already going up on the rankings of a really cool blaster. Other thing, I totally forgot about this blaster, so I had to quick grab this and film it all over again, is that Nerf Rival and Nerf Mega are relatively the same size, so I'm curious that if I put a Mega round in this, if it's going to seat properly. And no, it's not going to, unfortunately, but that's not, I mean, this is something that 3D printing could probably solve pretty quickly. And I don't know, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. This is really loose. I mean, like, it's going to fall right out, but if I hold it just so, maybe we can launch a Mega Dart out of this thing. Ready? I mean, that farted out, but it's still possible. And if you created, like, a ring, a collar of some kind, to go at the very top of this, just to kind of seat it on there, I could see a world where you could easily create a 3D printed part that would use Mega Darts and just be really cool. I mean, like, this is... I can't just get one of these. Get one of these before they're gone. You can increase performance by just using 1 round in this, but you can also use this like a shotgun in hand cannon form by putting more than 1 round in the barrels, because there's room for it. So this is something that I absolutely love about this blaster already, is the fact that it's so versatile. And it looks like a Triad, which is one of my very favorite Jolt style Nerf blasters. Why this was $2 on the clearance section and they weren't bought, not seen from ever again, I don't know, but if you can still get one of these, run out right now. Like, stop this video and just go get one of these, because I love this blaster so far. Let's talk a little bit about the construction of the blaster. The plastic feels extremely solid. The barrel feels like it's in there rather loose, but it does have a good ratcheting feature, and it does lock into place once I pull the prime down. Get situated when it's ready to fire, which is exactly what you'd want from a foam dart blaster. So let's just deprime that, and we'll talk about the handle of this blaster. It's rather large. You need to have adult size hands, I think, to operate this blaster. That's not a problem for me. And when you do have the right size hands for this, it's a very comfortable blaster. You're not running into the problem with the Nerf Jolt style stuff where you have that ridge along the bottom. It's a very well molded handle so that you can use this very, very easily. Solid construction all the way around. I don't feel like any creaking parts. This ridge right here is like the only loose piece, but it's just a cosmetic thing. It just breaks up the giant blue blob that is kind of the core of the blaster unit. because there's not a whole lot to this thing. You have the plunger tube sitting right here, and then you have the air chamber that would then direct the airflow out. So what are some of the things I don't like about this blaster? And this is kind of a really nitpicky stuff. And one of the things I don't like is the safety mechanism. Not that it's there, it's just that it is really tricky to switch between fire and safe. So it gets stuck if you're not pressing it directly on. There's not a whole lot of tolerance or slop that you can move it into place. The other thing that I'm not necessarily thrilled about, but I don't see how you can get around for a blaster that does what this does, is that it's a little bulky on this side, so it's very difficult to like holster. If you're using this in a competitive game where you have multiple blasters on you, this is going to be tricky to stash somewhere. You'd have to have like a big giant pocket to throw this in. There are no attachment points. There are no faux or even Picatinny style rails that you could attach attachments to that you would allow it to like clip on your belt or something like that. The hook on the bottom here doesn't have like a hole through it. It's a solid piece in the center, so you wouldn't be able to loop a piece of rope or anything like that through this. So that's like something this needs. And it's something that I would like to see changed if they ever make like a Ranger 2.0, is just to have like a little loop on the back here, just a little bit of molded plastic that you could clip on something and just have this be a little easier to access. But looking over this blaster, using it, firing it, all that kind of stuff, those are really the only nitpicks that I could find with it. So what do I think about this blaster? It's totally fun. It's totally fun. It's a good cross-section of a competitive blaster, but also has like a cool gimmick, right? The rotating barrel is not something that's needed, but it offers additional capacity. It offers additional like play options too, because you can not only just put one, you can put two, you can put three in this thing, and you could use it like a shotgun, which I think is just ridiculously funny. It strikes that balance of gimmick and performance, which is like a really great thing for a blaster to do, because it is a functional toy. It does launch a projectile, and you can have fun doing it. So I think this Ranger fits that bill very perfectly. I hope more blasters like this get created, and unfortunately, I think maybe not, considering this was, again, on sale, like super clearance. It was like originally $10. I got this for $2.50, brand new. Brand new. And I almost feel like it was criminal for me to buy it at that, because this is so much fun. It is such a good blaster. I don't do this often, but this is going to get a gold award from me because of just how much fun I had with this and how unexpected the performance was, and how unexpected, like, including extra rival-like ammo and stuff like that into the barrels to make this scatter and stuff. Yeah, definitely this is a gold level style blaster. If you have any questions about this thing, or if you've used this, tell me how great you like it, or if I'm missing something completely. I don't think I am, though. And that's everything that I've got for you about the Ranger. Thank you so much for watching. And if you got to this point of the video, please hit that follow button. That way you get the chance to know when new videos appear. We'll see you next time.